You allow for what you say is a trans woman to compete against the women, correct?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
I don't now because we banned it.
Okay. What is a woman?
I'm sorry, what is your question?
What is a woman?
What part of this bill are you referring to with this question?
I'm asking you to answer the definitive nature of your statement. You've asserted from the front mic multiple times.
When a woman tells me they're a woman, I know they're a woman because I trust them to give me that answer.
So can you define a woman?
I just did. When they tell me they're a woman, then they're a woman. It's not for me.
Can you define that?
I just did. That's my answer to you.
Mr. Busey, can you define it without using the word? Because for you to say a woman is not a definition. I'm asking you to define the term without using the word.
I
because
trust
if we're in
you
positions
to tell
of
me what gender you are, and I trust everybody on this floor to tell me what gender they are, or to not tell me because it's none of my business.
Representative, do you know what the difference is between muscle weight between a natural woman and a trans woman?
I think there's some flaws to your question, Representative.
Sure. Why don't you share that with me?
I think that that there is lots of misinformation and a lot of stereotypes about trans women and bodily type.
A study in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that trans women had an average of 26 pounds more skeletal muscle mass than natural women. Does that not apply?
I think that no trans woman, like no woman, like no man, like no trans man is the same. I think that what the governing boards have been doing is addressing sports by sports, but what we're doing here with this bill is literally banning even sports that don't have any trans athletes. We are literally banning all trans students from participating in healthy, important school activities.
I know it was ruled that it wasn't germane to the bill yesterday when the question was asked, what is a woman? Can you tell me what a trans woman is?
I think that we've had lots of conversations about trans identity on this floor, and I would love to not participate in reinforcing the negative rhetoric that we have.
It's not
I would
negative.
just rather
we're having a
focus on
discussion about why
bill,
a trans woman should or should not be able to compete against natural women at the college level. This is the whole issue of this bill. What is the difference? What is a trans woman?
I've literally laid out in my opposition speech why this bill is harmful. You don't have to agree with me, but I've expressed it's harmful to the economy.
Is there a difference?
It's harmful to all students.
Is there a difference?
It's reinforcing a discriminatory rhetoric and misinformation and stereotypes. And you don't have to agree, Representative Toth. That is your choice. But I think this line of questioning is potentially problematic.
Gross measure of body strength suggests that natural females are approximately 50 to 60%, only as 50 to 60% as strong in upper body strength as a man. Is that not relevant?
I think what is relevant is that the legislature is pushing a complete ban, the most extreme piece of legislation, as opposed to allowing the governing bodies, which are addressing fairness and putting in rules and regulations on their own without us interfering.
So a biological male, let's say, that competes in the javelin throw and then becomes a trans female, what is the difference in the weight of the javelin between a man and a woman's sport competition at the collegiate level?
I would really invite you to listen to this opposition speech that I gave.
How about a shot put? What's the difference?
I think that it's very important that we don't reinforce
you know that the women's shot put is half the weight?
And I think that this line
the
of questioning is trying to create and perpetuate misinformation.
That's misinformation?
I think that
No, it actually is. A men's shot put is 16 pounds. A woman's shot put is 8.82 pounds. That's not misinformation.
Members, let's please refrain from talking over one another.
How about a basketball, Representative? Men's basketball circumference is 29.5 inches. Do you know what a women's basketball circumference is?
Like I said, the bill, or what we are talking about, is to allow for the governing bodies to make the rules and regulations.
I believe that having biological males compete in women's sports provides more or less opportunities for our daughters?
I believe that having trans women not be discriminated against and compete in women's sports provides more opportunity for the children and young adults of the state of Texas.
Here's a better question. Do you believe it's fair for a biological man, because that's who we're talking about, to receive a scholarship that would have otherwise gone to a biological woman?
I believe that trans women should be allowed to compete in the state of Texas at all levels, and that the colleges are handling this issue just fine.
I believe they should be able to compete as well in their biological sexes competition. Do you believe that biological males should be able to enter our daughters' locker rooms?
I believe that trans women should be treated equally and that the state of Texas should not discriminate against any Texan.
So just to clarify, you believe that biological males should be able to enter our daughters' locker rooms
I
and
believe
undress
that
in front
trans
of them?
women should not be discriminated against by this body or by this state.
Just to clarify, what you're saying is you believe that biological men should be able to undress in a locker room in front of our daughters.
I believe that the state of Texas should never condone discrimination, including against trans women in the state of Texas.
And do you believe that to be the case in all sports, that biological men should be able to compete against biological women in all sports?
We should not discriminate against trans women in the state of Texas. We shouldn't do it from this front mic or from the back mic, and we shouldn't do it in the laws we pass. And we're in danger of doing that today.
Just to clarify, let's just indulge me for a moment. You believe that biological men should be able to compete against our young women in basketball?
I'm sorry, what did you say? I didn't hear the question.
You believe that biological men should be able to compete against biological women in basketball?
I believe that trans women should be able to compete in women's sports.
How about wrestling?
I believe that you mean women, men, height? I mean, you know, I run a youth sports league. We have wrestling. Wrestling's based on height. It's based on weight.
Okay.
You've got weight classes. I believe it's 15 levels.
How about in boxing?
You're the wrestling expert, though, from the back.
How about in boxing? You think that a biological man should be able to beat up on a girl inside of a ring?
I'm sorry, you want a man to beat up on a girl?
That's what I'm asking.
No, I don't think a man should beat up on a girl. No, I do not think that.
So you would believe that
I believe that trans women should be able to compete in any and all sports of women's sports.
So you don't acknowledge
but I don't believe adult men should be beating up on girls.
You don't acknowledge that your definition of a trans woman is, in fact, a biological man who's going through transition.
My definition of a trans woman is a trans woman.